Hey guys, welcome back to this series of tutorials where we are building a food delivery app with React Native and Firebase. It has been quite a while since I last posted a video on this channel. I think that has been for reasons that I've stated in the announcement video which was posted a few days ago, and I don't think I will repeat myself on that, but I'll be resuming the activities on this channel, and today we will continue from where we left in the last video, which is the 14th video. I think the last video I posted was 14. I've posted so far 14 videos, and in the last video, let me open the actual app. This is what we coded in the last video. We did code the drawer navigator. We did finish this in the last video, even though there are no functionalities yet. We will add the functionalities when we begin coding the back end, but for now we're going to proceed. Today we will begin coding the search screen. We have different tabs. We have the search tab. Right now when you click on the search tab, it takes you to an empty screen just saying search screen. So in this video we will begin coding the search screen. The search will allow you to search for food or restaurant inside your application, and let me just demonstrate or show you what we should build in this video. This is the search screen that we're going to build together. You can see there are different categories of food, as well as you have your search area on top here. So in this search bar, if you click there, it will take you to give you it will open a text input where you can type what you're looking for. At the same time, we also have some suggestions of food. For example, if I just type food, they will filter the suggestion to some of the most relevant to your search. For example, in this case, I have fast food, I have seafood, and if I click on the relevant suggestion, it will then take me to the result. In this case, it's telling me that we have 4 results for fast food because I did click on the fast food suggestion. And as I said, this is for demonstration purpose. You could put whatever pictures you want, the number of products and all that, and we will complete this in the back end when we begin coding the back end. For now, we will focus firstly on the user interface. So I think that that's about it about the search. And if, for example, you tap something that is not in, then you won't have any suggestion. But for now, if you tap something that has got a suggestion, then they will be able to give you that suggestion for the search. You can also pick your search from the categories, the most popular categories which are listed here. For example, fast food, burgers, and so on. So this is it about the search. So you can either pick from what is listed in terms of top categories or things that are popular in the search, or you can type a search description for the food that you want, and everything is working. And once we finish the user interface, then we're gonna work on the back end to couple this user interface with our server so that we can be getting data from the database. Without wasting any time, I want you to open your Visual Studio Code, and I have mine open already. Go to your source folder, open your source folder, and inside your screen folder you should have a search screen file. This is, if you have been following from the first video until this one, you should have all these files inside your project. So, and if it's your first time to watch this video, I will suggest you to watch the whole playlist. As I said, there are about 14 videos already that have been posted, and I will suggest you to watch those videos so that you can be on the same page with everyone else and what you have done so far. We will continue from here. I'm just going to launch my app because right now it's not running. I'm going to start my node server so that it can build this project for me. npx React Native run Android. So this will begin building my project, and while the project is building, I'm going to create some components, because the first component that we have to create is this search search area or search bar. When you click on the search bar, it opens a text input where you can type your search. So the first thing that we're going to do, I'm going to create a component. Go to your component folder, create a new file, and we're going to call it search component .js. And once you've created this search component, I'm going to create a functional component. This is just a boilerplate. Okay, it's telling me there is an error. I have to see what's happening. Why is it not building? There's this input here. I don't know what happened. This is a mistake. It's not supposed to be there. I think this is a typing error. You're not supposed to have it in your file. If I save, this should solve the problem. I'm just gonna reload. Alright, I think it's sorted. Awesome. The problem is cleared. You should have search screen when you click on the search tab. So if this is working for you, then you can go back to your search component.js file, which we are creating now. As I said, we're trying to create first of all this search bar. We're going to create that in this search component.js file. I'm going just to change the name of this boilerplate. Okay, it's giving me already. That's great. Search component and all that. I'm going to paste some style because I don't want to waste time typing the styles. I'm going to paste some styles, and then you're gonna pause the video on your side to type the styles that I'm going to paste right now. Let me make it bigger. Sorry, I'm having some flu. Sorry for that. So you can type these styles. I'm just scrolling it down for you. You can pause the video and type all these styles. And that should be it for the styles. Now we'll begin coding. First of all, let me just type in here search component, and I'm going to remove this. I'm going to import that in here. It will import it for me automatically, saying search component. Let me first save here. Save it, and then import search component. Here it is. And I'm having a problem, it's not imported automatically for whatever reason. It's gonna be from component, and that will be search component, and the name is search component. So now if I save this, I should have that reflecting in my app. What's happening? Alright, my emulator was freezing. I just had to restart it, and I can see now it's responding. So you can save your search screen.js file, save it, and go to the search tab, click on search tab. You should have search component. This is what we've created here. So if you go to search component.js file, you see that we did create this. And I just want to mention that make sure you import the colors from the global styles. So if you don't import this, you're gonna get some errors because we have used global colors throughout our style sheet. Now we have imported the search component into our search screen. We can now begin creating this. I'm just going to delete this for now. So I'm going to delete some of these styles. Let me just delete this. Still gonna align everything into the center. Alright, now go to your search component.js file, and we will begin now the coding. First of all, we can tell that let me open what we coding. So this is a touchable or pressable view. So when you press on it, then it opens a text input and so forth. So we're going to import touchable without feedback. Sorry. Touchable without feedback. Import that. I'm going to delete this. We don't need this anymore for now. that component here, touchable without feedback. Close that, and now we have created this touchable view. We have to enclose it. We have to create a view now. Going to create a view, and inside this view we have an icon. We have the search icon, so I don't have to type that. We know already how to create an icon. I'm going simply to copy an icon and paste here so that we don't waste time. This is what I've created already. It's an icon called search and some styles, and it's imported from material. And for it to work, we have to import this icon. And this are being imported from React Native element. If you have followed, you know that we did install a library called React Native element. So I'm just going to import the icon from that as well. Import icon from React Native element. You can tap this line of code and then go down. So we're also going to create a text view, or a text component, inside this view. Going to create a text component which represent this text here. We're saying what are you looking for, and that is a text component. Again, I don't have to type a text component. You know already by now how to do that. I'm simply gonna copy the text component quickly and tap it, paste it here. You can tap this. So this is the text which is displayed inside your this search bar, and make sure you also tap these styles. And now to this view I need to add some style, because you can see that we have these two icons that are in a row, so we have to specify that in our style. I'm going to do that just now. I just want to make this neat so we can be able to read the code easily. Going to say styles, and then we're importing from styles, and here we're going to say search area. So all these styles are among what we did paste into our style sheet, so don't have to worry about typing it, because if you have followed what we've done before, this styles is part of what we've pasted. And now we're going to save this, and let's see what we have. Let me save. Okay, we're beginning to have something, but this is not exactly what we want. And first of all, I'm going to remove this, all these stars for now. Let's save. We're getting that, and I'm going to let's see if we align it into the center, what happened. Align item center. Okay. I just need to see why is it giving that. Alright, instead of trying to align it into the center, just give some margin. I'm going to say margin horizontal, give it 10, and still we need to make sure this is aligned into the center, because the final one is aligned into the center like that. let's go to the style, because that's where the problem should be. Imagine top 10 and all that. This is the style. Everything looks okay for the style. And alright, I see the problem. I think I see what the problem is. It has nothing to do with the style here. Sorry guys, just delete this and go to the search component.js file. Just save this first. We need to give this a style. And the style should be, we should be aligning this first of all in here, and we can see that this is 100% correct now. Awesome. So we have the search bar looking great, but if I click on here, nothing is happening so far. If you click there, there's nothing happening. So we need to be able to make this work, that when you click, it opens this text input as well as the search suggestion and everything. And this is a modal. This will be achieved on the modal. So I want you to import from React Native, import modal from React Native, and then at the bottom here we're going to create a modal. Okay, going to create a modal, and in order to control this modal, we need to use some state. We need to keep the state of our modal, whether it's opened or closed. And to do that, we're gonna need to use the use state hook. First of all, say animation. We don't want it to, okay, we can animate it. Animation type, we can say fade, and we don't want it to be transparent, so we're going to give it a false. These are just the props for this modal. And the visibility, when do you want it to be visible? We're going to use a state called modal visible. And you have this state called modal visible. Now we need to create this state. We must first import some hooks from React. The first one is use state. We're also going to use ref, and for now that those are the state that we're going to need for now. And then we will create the state that we've just used, that is modal, oh, what was it, let me see, this is modal visible. Alright, modal visible. We also say set modal visible, and we use state, and the initial state will be false. That means we want our modal to be closed when we navigate to this screen. And now inside this modal we're going to pass some children, and the first student of course is gonna be a view, and I'm going to say view. I'm going to open a view component, and we will pass the stars to it, and this will be the stars dot modal. Assume this star should be in our star sheet. Have modal star. We don't have that, so we need to create that modal star. But for now we can leave it like that. we can say modal the star that we just created. Sorry, and let's just give it a flex of 1. Alright, for now let me quickly open a text component here. Let's call it search bar open. Going to save this. Okay, before saving, let's now listen to some event on this touchable component. So we're gonna say when it's pressed on press, we want to do something. What we want is to open the modal. Alright, and we'll say when it's pressed, set modal visible to true, and I'm just going to quickly let me just wrap this around another touchable view for now. I say touchable without feedback. Save this, and here let me say on press just set modal visible to false. So this will just be an illustration controlling our modal in this screen. I will save it. Okay, now let me press and see what happens. You can see that the modal is now open, search bar opened. If I click, it closes. Open, closes. This is good. Now we can create our text input. So we're going to create this now. So I can now get rid of this. I don't need this anymore, because you know that we are able to control the modal without any problem. Now the first thing that uh, we see that, let me show you something. You can see there's animation of the search icon from left to right when the text input is blur, and when it focused, you see there's again animation of these two icons from right to left, and this one also from left to right. And if I blur it again, you can see that nice animation. You see again the animation of these icons. So in order to do the animation, there's a library that makes this type of simple animation straightforward. It's called React Native Animatable. So we did install this library in previous videos. If you have been following, I think in video number 1, I'm going to paste the library. You will see that it's the same library that you've been using. It's called React Native Animatable. This is the library. We import it like that, and otherwise, if it's your first time, just make sure you watch the previous video. I think that was on the sign-in screen that we've used and installed this library as well. So that being imported, we can now create the animations. Sorry for that, just having flu as I said already. I'm going to scroll. Now we need to create first of all, let's create this. You can see these borders. Let's first create that. I'm going to say view, create a view, and this view we're going to give it some style so we can have those nice borders. Style, which this will be equal to styles dot view1. Just call it view1. You can call it whatever. And now we need to create another view in here, because the orientation of this view is different. We need to have all this item. You have the icon, you have the text input, and you have the other icon in a row. So in order to achieve that, we're going to open another text view. Just a normal view. Open a view, and this view, give it again a style. Should be styles dot text input. And now once you have that, you're going to create the animated view first of all for this icon here. So inside this view, create animatable view. So this will be animatable dot view, and close the tag and open it. So inside this, we're going to have an icon, this search icon. Again, I'm just going to copy an icon and paste it there, because this is standard thing. I don't have to waste time typing it. You can just see what I've done, and you can tap the code as well on your side. You can pause the video, and you can see already that there's a state here which is text input focused, because you can see that when it focused, you have a different icon. When it's blur, we have that icon. When I focus it, we have that. So what it's saying here is that if this state is true, if it's focused, have an arrow, which we're having now. If it's not focused, have a search icon. So if it's not focused, then we have this search icon. This is what it's saying. So now we have to create this state. We're going to create it just now. And also there is some event that we're listening to. We're saying that if we have the icon being focused as it is. If I click on this arrow, it will navigate back. You can see we are navigating back. And if it's not focused, if I click there, nothing happen, because here we are in search mode. Alright, that's what we're doing with this event listener. And then we add some styles, normal icon styles, and the rest of the import, which is just your normal procedures. So now let's create this state. We're going to create that state. You can scroll up. We're going to say const, and this is text input forecast, set text input forecast, and the initial state for this it's gonna be true, because I want the text input to be focused as soon as I land on this modal. For example, you see right now it's not, but yeah, it's supposed to be focused as soon as I land on it. So we keep it to true, and then with also want to import something. We're going to import a library from React Navigation. I'm just going to paste it here. Make sure you can type it as well. Import that. Oh, there's a mistake there. Alright. So we have that, and let's save it and see what happens to our app. If I save, and click there, we have something. It's beginning to draw. We have that search area, and we have the icon. If I click there, it takes us back. Alright, it's not yet what we want, but we're getting there. Now we're going to let me open this. What's happening again with my emulator? Having serious problems with my emulator. I will have to restart it. Okay, the emulator is back working. It's working fine again. So the next thing that we need to now create is the text input. We have the icon here, we have the text input, and then you have another icon. So I'm going to import that from React Native. Import text input, and then just after this animatable view, I'm going to open text input component, then we close the tag. And then we pass some styles. The style will just be a width. I'm going to give it width of 80% or 90% rather. Give it 90%, and then the place holder, we're gonna just pass an empty string, and then we're going to say autofocus you don't want anything, we don't want it to autofocus, so we're going to pass a false. And we need to create a reference for this text input so we can control it from any place in our app. So I'm going to say ref. I'm just going to call this reference text input. Now we need to create this reference, so we're going to use the hook that we've just imported, the use ref. You can come here, then we're gonna say const text input. This will be use ref, and we pass a 0 to it like that. Okay, then go back to the text input. Here we're going to pass some more props, and okay, for now let's leave it like that. We're going now to create the second icon, this one. We're going to open another animatable view, animatable.view. We close the tag. We're going to create another icon. Again, for icons, I'm just gonna copy and paste because I know that by now you know how to create the icons. I shouldn't waste time typing this code for icons. Just an icon again. We're using the same thing. It's a cancel. So for example, if I tap things, sorry, tapping it on the wrong place. If I can type some text inside here, I can just click there and cancel all the text. So what we're doing, we're saying if the text input is forecast, if this state is true, then we should have the cancel icon showing. So when I focus it, we have the cancel icon showing. If it's blue, then we only have the search icon. Then we pass some style to it, and all this you know already. And what we're saying, if this is pressed, we're gonna clear the text input, and we're gonna handle the search. For now, I'm just gonna comment this out. We will work on this later on. And now I think that should be it. Let's save and see. Let me first go to our text, to our app. I'm going to save now. Now let's click here and see what happens. Awesome. We have the text input 100% what we're looking for. We can tap some stuff there, and when you click on cancel, it clears all the text. But for now, we're not getting suggestions or any data because we haven't passed any data for filtering or for search to this text input. But at least we can say the search is working. And now I'm going to create some data for filtering. I'm gonna call it filter data. Go to your global data. You have your source folder. Go to the global folder and then open the data. Then inside this, I'm just going to, I'm sure if you have followed, you should have all this data with you already, but I want to delete this, and I'm going to paste this. It might be the same thing. Let me just see what was there before. Okay, I think it's actually the same. It's actually the same thing. So if you have the filter data there, that's 100%, then we can import that into this search component. Okay. So in order to have let me open the app. In order to have this data here, these suggestions, they are a flat list. We have a flat list which will be rendering all your search data. Example, if I put food, all this data, they're coming from a flat list. So we need to create a flat list on this model. So what we're gonna do is go down here, and we must first import a flat list from React Native. Import flat list, and now we can use that. I'm sure by now you know how to use flat list. I'm not going to tap every single thing for the flat list. I'm going to copy this flat list and paste it, and then I will explain so that this video doesn't get out of the determined time. So this is what I've pasted. This is a flat list component, and we have data here. I'm passing data, and I'm going to create this just now, or let's create it directly. So we need to create that data. I'm going to create data here, const, that's a state, and I'm going to say data set data, and use state, and we will spread some data from the array here. Let's first import our global, gonna say filter data, importing the filter data from global file, and then we spread that into this state. Alright, and now we can use this data inside our flat list. We're using that here, and then we have the render item method, which then will render each of these search suggestions. And as you can see, each suggestion has to be touchable. If I press on one, you can see that it takes me to the search result. So that's why we're using the touchable opacity here, and in the rest of the items it's just normal things. For example, when we press there, we want to set the modal false, and we need to set text input forecast true, and all these type of things. And then finally we will render the item, the name of the suggestion or the search suggestion here. So we say item.name as per the data. You can see each item here is represented by a name in our array. It's an element of the array which is made of object. So that being said, then we have also to extract the key, otherwise we're gonna get some abnormalities, and that's that should be it. We also need to call to import the navigation prop from our use navigation hook. So can I say const navigation, and this will be use navigation. I think this should be fine, and let's see what happens. I'm going to test it now. If I save, what do we get? We have the text, and still when you click there something is not right. Let's see what's going wrong. Touchable opacity, we need to import that. Didn't import it. Touchable opacity, awesome. Now we have our data being suggested here from your search, but so far if I tap anything, nothing is happening. It's not filtering. For example, if I tap food, nothing is happening, and it's just there standing. So now you have to implement the logic so that when you're tapping here, you are able to filter out some data and get the right suggestion of what you're looking for. Okay, I can see the video is getting a bit longer. I'm going to end this video here, and in the next video then we will continue from here, so that we are able to filter the data. For example, if I tap food, you can see that they're filtering the data. If I just tap B, they will give me only word that start with B. If I tap S, for example, they give me all the word that start with S, which we have salad, seafood, and so forth. For example, if I tap C and H, we see that they give me only word or suggestion that start with that, and so forth. This is what we will continue in the next video. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video, which is coming just shortly, few hours after this one. And until then, take care and keep safe. Bye bye.